If you're new to fly fishing, well, putting a line on the reel is something that a shop will do for you. But after a couple of years, you might want to replace it. So how do you go about it? Well, first of all, I've got the backing on the reel. Now to attach the line to the backing, some people will say use a nail knot, needle knot. I'm going to show you one that I've used for over 20 years. It's never let me down. So you hold them parallel to each other, and then with the backing, that's all I'm going to do is twist it around the line 5 or 6 times, fold it back on itself, twist it around again, and then take that end and feed it back through the loop that you've created by folding the backing back, and then we just pull down into a nice neat knot. Now slide that down towards the end, there we go, and then pull tight. Trim off the excess, just that line there, and then the backing. If you want to be ultra safe, you could just put a dab of super glue on that, and to be honest with you, that has never ever let me down. Now there's the line on the spool. We're going to have to now get a volunteer, member of the family. Yasmin, come here. Got a pencil. This is my eldest daughter. You're only going to see her hands. Come over here. Come and say hi. There we go. Right. She's used to it. She's done hundreds of lines. What she's got to do is just keep the line under tension. Make sure that the spool doesn't go into free spin, but not too tight that I'm struggling to reel it on. So reeling it on evenly onto the reel. And what you're trying to do is just cover that backing and just spreading it around. If you take your time at this point, and if you're out fishing and a fish takes you down to this end, well, as long as you've taken a little bit of patience putting it on, you won't get the line jamming on itself and maybe losing that fish. So there's a lot of line on this. This is the Airflow 40 plus, the new one, so there's a lot of running line. We're now into the head area. So change his colour all the way down. Right. At the end, there is no leader loop. And that's brilliant. Some lines come with a pre-formed loop at the end of it. Now, to be honest with you, I don't like that, because when you tie fluorocarbon into that, it'll cut into it and it could break. If I get a line with a pre-formed loop, I cut it off anyway and put the braided loop on. The ones that I use 99% of the time, Roman Moser Micron loops. They are fantastic. They're compact and they're bomb-proof. Unfortunately, I've run out of them. So I've got a normal, standard, shop-bought braided loop. Look at the length of it. I don't want half that. I really want the double length of the loop. So there's the loop. Fold that back on itself. That's all of the loop that I actually want. So it's virtually half of what you buy in a shop. Before we attach it on, here's a little trick for you. If you fold the braided loop over your thumb and then just gently pull it over, you should feel a flat spot. If you don't feel a flat spot, that means there's no super glue in there whatsoever. What does that mean? Well, let's take this. Now imagine you're fishing and you've attached your cast to this. The fish is pulling, but it's pulling at the wrong part of the loop. It's pulling at the wrong part of the loop. You see that loop is getting bigger, bigger, bigger. Suddenly the loop has gone. That means 1, the loop has gone, 2, the cast has gone, 3, the fish has gone, and even worse still, all your flies have gone as well. So imperative that before you put that braided loop on, roll it over the thumb. No flat spot, remember, when you attach the braided loop onto the line and secure it with super glue, put a couple of dabs on that, show you in a minute. So we don't want that length. Let's cut it down. there. Feed it onto the end of the line. So find the middle of the braid and then just tease it up. Tease it up all the way up to where the double thickness of braid is. And then with a plastic sleeve, we're just going to push that onto the line and slide it up. Right, at this point, if you've got loose ends sticking out there, you've got to get rid of them. Even last year when I was fishing on stocks in a match, my boat partner, I didn't see it in time, he had frayed bits at the end of his braided loop. He hooked a fish, the only one fish he hooked all day, and imagine if you're pulling this into your tip ring, if one of them strands catches in the tip ring, it pushes your loop off. He lost his flies, his cast, and he lost the fish. So trim all those off. Use a good pair of scissors. Right, that's really tight. I just tease that sleeve up a little bit more to secure them in place. Right, now, even with super glue that dispense 1 drop of glue, don't be fooled. Right, put the super glue on something first before you put it onto the braided loop, especially when you're gluing the loop itself, because it's hollow, it'll absorb a lot of the glue. So I'm going to put it on this ether foam pad, just a blob of that, and then cocktail stick, little bit on the stick, and the first place to put the glue is at the top of the sleeve. And you will actually, if you look very, very closely, you'll see that super glue seep down into the sleeve along the braid. Turn it over, holding it upright, a little bit more of the super glue, and again, just at the top end of the sleeve there. Right, now, and this is the worst part, this is the braid, the loop itself. Right, this is, if I held that super glue up and poured it on, the whole thing would become solid. You don't want that, you want it to remain supple. So I take a little bit of super glue, first of all at the end of the line, there, and then one just halfway up, just a little bit, and that will absorb very quickly all the way through. There you go, hey presto, you've changed the line, you've got the backing knot right, you've got the loop right, it'll never let you down, and now you're ready to go fishing.